Hello, everyone. How is everyone's Monday going? I hope you all are well. Hi, Sue. How are you? I Tonight on Ask the Nanny, we have Sue Downey, who is going to explain to us the ins and outs and whereabouts of the International Nanny Training Day. So, hi, Kate. How are you? And without further ado, we are going to um, invite Sue on. And there she is. Yay!
Yay! Can you hear me too?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yay!
Yay! So, hold on. Somebody's trying to message me in the middle of
Uh-oh.
everything.
This Facebook
Like,
thing is
stop!
still
What
so
I'm
much.
doing? Stop. So, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I had a good day at work today. I have a 3-year-old who enjoys being grouchy, and he was not grouchy today, so that was good.
Yay! I had 2 sick children today, so
Oh no.
yeah. Well, they were not majorly sick. It was just mildly sick. They were in good spirits, so that was a blessing. So I'm good. I'm glad about that.
Good.
So, welcome to everyone who just came, who signed in and is watching. If you missed it, we are with Sue Downey. She's going to tell us about the International Nanny Training Day. Now, Sue, my first question to you is, tell us something about yourself outside of Nanny Palooza and INA and International Training Day, all of the nanny stuff.
Okay.
You were involved in all of it.
Well, that's my favorite subject to talk about is me. So I'm very happy to. So
Okay.
outside of the nanny world, I'm a bit of a Disney fanatic and love to spend time in Florida and this year in California at the Disney parks. And
Yeah.
also, I am getting ready to turn 50 in just about a month. So
Wow.
I know, big birthday. And I'm like, some days I love it, and some days I'm like, I don't know about this. But I'm mostly excited about that milestone. So, I'm pretty excited.
Well, welcome to the club, because I'm
Well,
already
thank you.
50. Welcome to
It's
the
not a bad,
club.
it's not a bad club to be in. I feel like there are a
No,
lot of people I in that club.
it's not. It's just like good wine. We get better with time.
Oh,
That's
excellent.
what I think of. I'm starting to think about it that way, because I used to put out there every year, this is the 18th anniversary of my 29th birthday. So I'm always forever 29. So 50 is a good club to be in. It's a good club.
Good.
So Robin said, yes, the 50 club. So tell us, how did International Nanny Training Day come about? What is the brain thought process of how it came about?
Well, it really came about from Laura Brawley, who really is the one who started it and did it for a few years. I sort of took it over for her because it fit in well with what I try to do. But all along, the important thing to Laura and to myself has been creating different kinds of training experiences for nannies. And also at the same time as providing those, also shining a light on nanny care and how it fits into the larger child care community. And so Laura, and I shared this from the beginning with her, feel like a lot of times NAEYC, which is the National Association for the Education of Young Children, they do such a great job talking about centers and kith and kin care, like grandparents and family care and in-home daycares and all of those. But sometimes, and really most of the time, nanny care is sort of left out of that because we aren't always considered part of that spectrum of care. And so when Laura was thinking about training opportunities and how to continue the grassroots movement for nannies to connect with each other and to do more and more community events, it seemed natural to pair an event with NAEYC's Week of the Young Child, which is why it's always in spring in April, which is when the Week of the Young Child is. And for those who don't know, the National Association for the Education of Young Kids, or NAEYC is what we call it, is the largest body of preschool teachers, center teachers, early childhood educators, anything with kids in the young ages, really from early elementary years on down. And they have giant conferences every year that are tens of thousands of people descend upon these cities. I mean, just amazing experiences. And they do this week every year where they celebrate young kids. And we know as nannies that those first early years are the bedrock of everything. Yeah. So NNTD sort of grew out of the joy of celebrating not only how important those young years are with Week of the Young Child and how nannies fit into the spectrum of care and how we need to show parents that this is one choice, not the best choice for everyone, not the affordable choice for everyone, but one choice for your kids, and that there are pluses and minuses with it, but also that nannies are educated professionals and that we take what we do seriously enough that instead of just throwing ourselves a party, we're going to throw ourselves a party and learn something at the same time. So that's really the sort of philosophy behind it. And I'm really proud of how it's evolved from the beginning, because it really has become sort of this local, everybody expects it to happen in these cities every year. And that's very exciting to me. That means that more and more nannies expect and want to, get some training and some share ideas and share what they know as much as they want to learn too. So that's a long answer, isn't
it? You answered like 2 or 3 of my questions, but that's good. That's good. Now, I know Laura is watching. I saw you scroll up somewhere along here. I saw you scrolling up, say, chime in, please. We need your thoughts too, since you and Sue originated this together. And hi, there she is. Hi, Laura. But tell me, how fast has it grown since it started?
You know what? I haven't kept statistics. I should know, but it's only, I think the best thing to know is that I'm not sure about the number of people that have attended or the cities across the years. It's shifted back and forth. But the one thing I can say now is when it started, it was sort of this revolutionary idea, and a handful of people. It was a big success from the beginning, but a few people. Now it's expected. It's looked forward to. People set that weekend aside on their calendar. And in the last 2 years, we've gone international, which has been super exciting, because the one thing that I've learned in the last 2 years is that there are different concerns for sure, and different methods of raising kids and different philosophies on discipline, but anywhere in the world, everyone cares about the life of young children and wants it to be the best care that we can get. So when we've met nannies, in London and in Australia and the Swiss nannies, all of them care about the same things that we do. And so a week having an event that's global just shines a bigger light on us and says, what we're doing is important, and we're doing it everywhere, like all across the globe. So I'm excited that that has happened, and that's really exciting.
So what year did it originally start in?
Huh, see, I should know that too. I think this is sixth, the
Okay,
sixth
Laura,
year.
try again.
Maybe Laura knows. Laura will remember. I'm bad at that kind of stuff. You know, it's a lot more work than you would think. And I don't even do the heavy lifting. The local organizers do everything. I mean, I just keep track of things, but I am bad at keeping the statistics. I think this is the sixth year. I'm pretty sure that's correct. But
Well, for it being the sixth year, I've been through a lot of nanny pages and a lot of nanny forums, and it's like, save the date, save the date, save the date. I was like, yes, we're getting the
well,
word. Yes.
and it just showed up on the INA did a salary survey. I don't know if you know about that, but it showed up as one of it showed up on the survey. It said, you know, one of the ways that have you done your professional development, did you attend a National Nanny Training Day event? So that's really exciting. I mean, like,
Yes.
it's just, it's, I can't tell you the difference that it's made in the last few years to see the interest in continuing to perfect your professionalism and your techniques and your, you know, all of those skills. You need skills to be at home alone with an infant. Now, I guess you don't need them, but you should have them.
Yeah. And you should always be learning, because I know by the time I go to get up at 6 a.m., I'm at work by 8 a.m. I get off at 6 p.m. I make it back home by 8 p.m. I'm exhausted. So I don't have time to research the latest whatever is out there about children. I don't have time to check all the nanny forums to find out, okay, so this new product came out today, try this, or tell mom and dad about that. We don't have time to do all that. International Nanny Training Day, personally, it changed my life last year. This is the result of International Training Day. International
Yay! That's amazing.
Result of it lit a fire under me, because I started with the INA, and International Nanny Training Day is where I found, INA was where I found the International Nanny Training Day. And I was like, oh, I hope we have one here. And I got connected with the local one, and I was just like, I met Chevelle, and it was skyrocket from there. And so it has been a uphill, exciting, I don't know, it just lit a fire under me, because I've always depended upon my early childhood education degree. That's why parents hire me. That's what they think they want. But once you get in the nanny field, it's totally different from the classroom. It has nothing to do, we have a classroom when we're teaching the children, but it's totally different from the classroom. It's totally different. Teach you the basics, but being a nanny is something, trust me, you can't learn in the classroom.
Right.
You only learn it in the nanny training. It's, I don't even know how to describe it, because I was a loner. And when I found the International Nanny Training Day, man, I said, I'll never miss another one.
Awesome.
And it's what led me to Nanny Palooza. And it just set a fire into me, because I didn't even know all these nanny groups existed. So International Nanny Training Day, it changed my life. It changed the direction of my life, and it headed me in a career path that I didn't even know existed for me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You and Laura both. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, because that's so, I love to hear that, because one of the complaints that I see often on the online or hear from nannies is they feel that you know, I have a degree or I have 20 years experience, and why do I need to go? And I'm the first one to tell you that National Nanny Training Day, because they're locally organized by volunteers, none of those organizers make any money off of the hours and hours of work that it takes to put together those events. Because of the size of them and because of they have to appeal to a large number of people, that it isn't always, you know, expert level, you know, national experts coming in to talk about things, but there are always things to learn. And even if you know a lot, even if you have a degree, even if you've been doing this for 25 years, connecting with others is as valuable as anything that I could teach you or that anyone could teach you. And that inspiration can carry you into new places, can spur things on. And then you become, like yourself, you become a teacher and a mentor to other nannies who then pass that on to other nannies. And that is how we're going to change things. If you complain at any point during the year about being misunderstood or unappreciated, or you think that nannies don't make enough money, or that we should have more benefits, or any of those complaints, how it all changes is by all of us engaging together. That's how it's going to change. So I thank God. I thank all of the nannies that do this hard work about putting these events together, because it does change people's lives. And that's, you know, and then it changes the lives of the children that you touch. Like, think of the ripple effect of that. So, you know, right now in one of those nanny relationships is a future civil rights leader who's going to change the world in 20 years, who's being cared for by a nanny who went to a session on diversity training and is, you know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of thing that changes the world, and it's because of things that we do. So so I'm glad to hear that it made such a positive impact on you, and that you know, had a degree and were open still to learning and connecting. So that's great.
Well, like I said, it was life-changing, because I know me, I'm not a stubborn person, because I know some nannies who are like, I don't need that. I got this. I got that. I said, okay, stay out there by yourself.
Right.
And how long are you going to before you burn out and you don't have anybody to talk to? And the people that you talk to, they don't understand what you're going through, because they're like, why are you complaining? You're making a paycheck. You get to stay at home and play all day. They don't realize how much work it is. I mean,
don't tell them.
Really?
Don't tell everyone I get to play all day. I don't want any more people to like.
So I really, really appreciate it. And like you were saying, we plant seeds from what we learn at the conferences and from each other. We plant seeds in lives, in the children's lives. We see, oh, I learned that. Oh, let me do this. Let me turn around this way. Let me reconstruct this, because I learned it at a nanny training day, or a nanny palooza, or INA, or all the other many trainings that we have. I learned it there, and I'm going to implement this, and the child catches on. You never know. I have little engineers, little negotiators, because that's what I call them when they get to between 3 and 4. I call them little negotiators. They become lawyers by the time they're 5. So,
right.
But all of these things that you learn from the trainings, and you go back and you implement them with your children. I did last year a textile, different textiles and different just little things in nature that the kids could play with, instead of Legos, instead of it was a Montessori school.
Right.
And it was like, really? And I took some stuff in. I'm thinking, they're not going to want to play with it. The creations that they came up with, I wish I could show you all the creations that they came up with. The natural materials that I got from Home Depot, from the scrap pile.
Exactly.
So it makes a difference when you go to the training. It changes the children's lives. It changes your lives. It could change your career path. The people that come in and speak with us and talk to us, they, you know, like you said, some of them are not these big high power professionals, but you can learn from each other. You can learn.
Right.
There's always something to learn. But
Well, things are always changing. So I think every time I go to one of these things, I learn something that it's something new. And, you know, I think that like the car seat information changes all the time. And
yeah,
thank goodness for all of those young nannies who are really excited about car seats, because I could care less. But I like to follow rules, but I just can't keep track of it all. And thank goodness for those nannies who are young. There's a little posse of them, and they're always giving me all the information so that I know what I'm doing. But you know, it's respecting each other and knowing that we do have something to learn from each other. And I'm excited too, because we're being very serious about all of this, but there's also so much fun in the local events too. Yeah. And the organizers are being so creative this year. Like if you're in Denver, they're doing this sort of nanny Olympics thing where they're gonna like see who can diaper the fastest and who can prepare like the bottles, you know, like sort of a time thing. I'm not exactly sure what but so they're doing that. And I know that in London, Helen McCarthy's putting together a bake-off competition, and they're going to have a prize for, you know, the best baked good, I guess. And so they make these events super fun too, not just sitting in a classroom all day. And the other thing that's nice is that whether you go to the events in, you know, in Brooklyn or in Baltimore or wherever you are, you're meeting, it's different than a national conference because you're meeting nannies that are in that area, and your speakers are speakers who are experts in the field in your city. So I think that's really exciting, because then you're building this network that allows you to you know, later on you have a kid with a speech delay and you're not sure what's going on, you can go back into your notes and see that, you know, this speech pathologist spoke, and shoot an email and get some information or recommend her to the family that you're working for, which is awesome. There's so many great, I was asking some of the organizers what their topics were this year, and I'm just taken aback by some of the great sessions that they're planning, like everyday power struggles and mindfulness, which is so important. Those are in San Diego. And in Tampa Bay, they're having a big event with literacy and communication, and something about security, which is very interesting to me because we don't always think about that, but oftentimes we're out alone with the kids, and what would we do in situations? I know that in Baltimore, they are having a lot. They had this amazing speaker that we had at Nanny Palooza last year. She always does an amazing job with speakers. And so that it's very exciting. Oh, and in Minneapolis and St. Paul, they're having an event. This is their second one this year. And they're having the business of being a nanny, which is so important, like having your contract and taxes and all of that, and teach children the first time to listen, which I might literally fly to Minneapolis to hear because I'm pretty sure that does not happen so much in my house right now.
Oh my God.
I raise negotiators. So so it's really exciting to see. It is very, it's so amazing.
Now I have another question for you. How did you get the nannies? Did you call, you know, key people that you knew to spread the word, or how did you get it to spread?
So I do a few different things. One thing that I can say is that we have So the people that organize this are a mix. There are local nannies who do support groups who are just doing this because they believe in the community, and people like Laura Schroeder and Greta Schreier, and these amazing nannies who put together events in Charleston and Cincinnati, respectively. Those two people. I'm just trying to think of all of my organizers. But then there are also agency, and those people come to me because they hear about it and they know that it's important, and so they come to me. And there's a bunch of them. That's not, those two are two examples. There's lots of them. Then there's another group of people who are agencies, and these are the top agencies. If an agency is willing to do the work to put this together, they are probably, well, I'm sure they're worth working with, because they usually do it at their own expense. And those agencies are like, for example, in San Francisco, if you're a San Francisco nanny, there's 4 different agencies: Town and Country, my good friend Daryl at Stanford Park, Chirp Chirp Baby, and I'm forgetting one, of course, because I'm on the spot. Let me look at my list really quick. And of course I can't find it right here this very second. But anyway, those agencies, Windsor House Nannies, which is in Austin, is doing one. Capitol Park Nannies in Sacramento. So that's another segment of people that do them. And then I do call people, but if I think that there's an area, I'll sort of recruit. But a lot of times people come to me because they hear about it and they want something in their area. We have a few new people that have signed on this year, which is exciting to me. And then, and we also have some support groups who do it with a sort of a committee. Like, for example, in Washington, D.C. has one of the oldest nanny support group is ADCAN, which is the Association of DC Area Nannies, and they are doing an event again this year. So there are groups that put it together too. So it's very exciting. And sometimes they're really big events. Like there's the Seattle one, that's a big event. Boston has Metro West, which is one area, and then Boston, and those are both big events. The Boston one is usually over 100. But then there are small events too. Madison, Wisconsin, my good friend Mallory Lynch puts together something it started with 6 people at her apartment, I think, because that was what she could do and pull together. And it's grown since then, but it's still relatively small. And gosh, I love the nannies in New Orleans. There's only a few of them. They keep trying to get bigger and bigger, but it's a little bit of a struggle for that market. Just is a smaller market, but they get together too. So it's a snowball effect of people who care. So
yeah. Now, is there an age limit to who can attend?
Yeah. So each different organization, each different event is really locally controlled. So they determine that. Generally speaking, most of them are looking for not having kids at this event. It's about kids, but not for kids. So
no, I didn't mean kids. I meant like teenage babysitters can attend if they're looking to get into the nanny field.
Right.
That's what I meant.
Most organizers would welcome. Yeah. Most organizers would welcome that. We've had that in a couple of different ones. It is local, so it depends. Sometimes if alcohol is being served, sometimes they might have alcohol at lunch. They might not be allowed to have, younger kids or whatever. But generally speaking, I think most of the organizers would welcome anyone who earnestly wants to be there to learn. So I don't think it's a problem.
Okay. I tell you, it has been how many years? I've been a nanny since 2001, but I've worked in childcare for over 40 years, but that's basically my whole life has been about children. But I've been a nanny since 2001, and it's a lonely space, especially when you don't know. And I know I'm not the only one who is just catching up to everything that's going on. It's a lonely space when you're out there by yourself and you don't know, and you're brand new nanny. So I just want to ask all of you nannies who have been in it for a while, or who see nannies at the park, or see babysitters or whatever they may be, grandmas, at the park that you think are grandmas and they're actually the babysitter. Invite them. Be
Right.
friendly. You never know who you may not meet. You may not know whose life you may not save because they're having a bad day, and you come up and say, well, give them a suggestion or talk to them and tell them something, that may work with their child.
Right.
And they implement it because you suggested it. Nannies unite.
Oh, and
together.
These events are very cost effective. Most of them are under $50. They are usually, there's a lot of the events have early bird pricing. So those registrations are starting to open now. This is the perfect expense to say, or perfect chance to say, hey, listen, I'm going to buy a ticket for me. I'm going to buy one for you too. Let's go together and just check it out. And that is a great way to give back to the community that supported you, because I know that when I first moved from Ohio to the East Coast, if I hadn't made nanny friends, I don't think I'd still be doing it. It's just so hard. Sometimes you're so isolated. So, it's not so easy to pay for somebody to go to INA or to go to Nanny Palooza, but this is a great way that you could buy someone's registration and say, listen, I'm going to treat you, and let's make a day of it and have some fun. Think of what that would mean to you if you were on the other end of it. I think that would be so fun to do for somebody. So just an idea.
You just led me to my next question. I was going to ask you, are there any locally scholarship funds set up for those who may want to go, or is there a way to contribute to somebody's quote unquote tuition for the event?
Right. So all of those are local. So one thing that's happening right now is that the individual events are starting to go what we call live, which means registration is starting to open. Not all of the events have it yet, but it's rolling out. Sometime by mid-February, almost everybody will be selling tickets. Almost all the events they're all different prices because it's all based on the costs where you live. So that's why the different costs for different, and each event is different. Each event has an organizer who can help you if you want to donate a registration to someone in need. Most of them don't have funds set up for that in particular, although that's a really good idea, and maybe we can start something nationally this year with that. But all of them have early bird pricing. Some of them run sales. So make sure that you go to the organizer's Facebook page, and if you can't find an event in your city, you can email me at suedowney@nannypalooza.com. Go to the nannypalooza.com and you can message me from there. Not all the events are on the list right now because they're still all sort of gearing up, but but it's all individually based on that. I don't know any of the local organizers who wouldn't welcome money to put towards others. And I know that some of them had group discounts last year where if you brought a friend, you got a discount on the second ticket or something like that. So it's definitely so fun. Oh yeah, Aline, my love, Aline Methurin, I never say her name right, but is the organizer in Brooklyn. She has My Nanny Circle. I know that you know her. And she has a scholarship program for the Brooklyn event. And I think there are other ones. I know. Well, and we should look into that nationally. Nationally, oh, Baltimore, Lindsay says, has a sponsored scholarship ticket too. So contact the local person. If you can't afford to go and you want to go, definitely reach out to the local organizer, and because we will work together as a team to try to get everybody that wants to go to go. Money shouldn't stand in the way if you really want to go, and we can work to try to make that happen.
Yes, I was BOGO came to mind when I said that, you know, the buy one get one half off, or the percentage off, or a discounted ticket. You know, they have them on sale. You know, most have the early bird special. That you all just don't know, the early bird special saves us.
Yes,
to me, the early bird special saves us. You know, because at the last minute, it's like, okay, well, I got to buy this, I got to do this, I got to do that. I'm so glad my registration is already taken care of, because by then, back at regular price, and you're like, phew.
Yeah. I think that it's important to know that these organizers would let everyone come for free if they could, but it costs money, and it's usually the food and the space. Like, that is easily the big chunk of that, of what you're paying for. Thank goodness that there are enough people in the early childhood area, you know, in the early childhood industry, who will come and speak to us at a discounted rate or for free. But the food and the meeting space is always difficult. So the local organizers do what they can to keep the prices down. I know, I know that almost all of them have early bird specials too. So make sure you're on their Facebook pages checking them out.
Yes, please do. Please do. And I want to thank you all, you and Laura, for coming up with this, because a lot of us, you know, some of us make enough, and we save throughout the year, and some of us are married, so we have support income coming in. Well, we can come to Nanny, or we can go to INA, or we can go to any of the other conferences, but some of us don't. We are all we have.
Right.
So having a local, having it yearly and having a local International Nanny Training Day makes it possible for a lot of nannies to get that professional development, to get, when parents look at the portfolio, they're looking for certificates, and they want to know, what kind of training have you had? What kind of, formal, they're looking for those things. And when we get that endorsement of, because I know my current employer, when I told her what I was doing for the weekend, the weekend that I went, and she was like, okay, what's that? And when I got back and I showed her all my goodies and showed her, I said, this is what I won. We're going to do some planting, because I won a planting. We were planting seeds, but I won a kitty garden tool set. So we went out and we planted flowers, and the kids loved it, and they got to play in the dirt, and dirt was everywhere, but they loved it. We played in the dirt for a week. That was the activity for a whole week, but it kept them busy, and we went. I even went and got earthworms and put in there. But it makes a difference in the things that we do, and the things that we learn, and that we can take back to our families, we can take back to our communities. There's a whole community at some of these parks. There's a whole community of nannies who don't know about training, who don't know about. Pass out some cards, make a flyer, word of mouth, whatever you need to do, get them.
And again, that is another way that you can help keep costs down for these events, is by helping advertise them. So almost all the local organizers have brochures, they have flyers, they have all of that. If you live in a town, whether it be Sydney or Orlando or Dallas, wherever there's an event, contact that local organizer and say, hey, listen, I go to the park, 2 times a week, or we go to a music class where I know there's another nanny, and just ask for the flyer that you could give to them, because that helps us reach out to more nannies, and it also helps keep the costs down, because we don't have to, resort to other ways to try to, word of mouth is the strongest thing, and it's free. So that's how we have to keep growing.
Nice.
And I wanted to say
here.
I know. I wanted to say one other thing, because you were talking about how you went back to your employer and talked about the things that you had learned and what you did, and you showed her kind of through your actions of what you got out of that weekend. I hope then that you feel empowered then next year to say, hey, National Nanny Training Day is coming up and I'm going to go. Would you consider covering my cost or covering half of my ticket for this? Because it benefits your kids too. And I would consider that very helpful to me with the kids. And that is a great way to get them to start to pay for those things, by showing them what you learned, showing them how it benefits their kids, not just telling them, but showing them, taking those seeds out and planting and letting her see that. And then going back the next year and saying, hey, would you consider covering the cost? I think that, the worst thing they can say is no. But a lot of times I think, especially with these events, which are very cost effective, sending for a nanny, a $65 ticket or a $50 ticket or a $45 ticket even can be a big chunk. But for a family, that's, they spend that on breakfast. So, and I think if they see the benefit of what you're learning, they would be very pleased to do that. So.
And we as nannies have responsibility too. Once we go to these trainings, don't sit down on the information. Share them with families. Let them know that you learned something. Let them know that I did this so I can better myself, so I can be better for your child, so that I can educate your child, so I can educate you. Show them that you are worth the money that they are paying you. Right. Sometimes it involves a raise. Oh, you went to school. Oh, you taught my child this. Oh, you brought this back. And last year, not only did I plant the seeds, but one of the families that I used to babysit for, the child had a flat head on the back because she didn't have time. One of the presenters was what was the name of the company? I can't remember the name of the company, but she does in-home therapy with children so that they won't have to wear the helmet. I got that information and gave it to the family. The child still ended up having to wear a helmet, but they used her services because they didn't know.
Right.
So all of that makes a difference. Show your parents that you're worth it. Show them that it is worth them paying for you to go to these classes, because you come back and you use it with their children. Parents love it when their children learn.
It's true. And they love it when their kids are wonderful and well behaved and you got it all under control.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. Well, do you have anything else for us? I think you have answered all of my questions that I had throughout.
I do
along the way
a little bit. No,
all of my questions.
If you aren't sure if there's an event near you, you can contact me. You can go to the Nanny Palooza website. Keep checking back. Like I said, not all the events are listed. Not all the events have registration open yet, but it will. The date is April 21st, 2018. And I'm very excited to, see this just continue to grow. Last year we had just shy of 2,000 nannies. I would love to have 2,000 participate this year. And we have more international events, Switzerland, Melbourne, Sydney, London, and then a bunch across the United States. A big event, a new one in Naperville. I'm trying to mention all of them. Naperville's outside of Chicago. I think I've mentioned almost all of them, but more. There's two more.
Dallas has one.
Dallas has one. My Mary Alger. And Austin and San Antonio, and there's so many. So make sure that you check back, and if you can't find one near you, contact me. I'll figure out which one is closest. You can make a weekend of it. Some people do that. It's fun.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Plug PPP. I don't know what PPP is.
She wants me to plug the Practically Perfect podcast because we always forget to talk about it. Laura and I have the Practically Perfect podcast. So if you like to listen to me talk, which maybe this was enough for you probably for a long time, but we just did it. We just did a episode where we discussed the INA salary survey. So you can go to Facebook, Practically Perfect Podcast. And don't forget Atlanta. Crystal reminded me that there's an event in Atlanta, and I forgot. And also, more are being added. Just go nannypalooza.com and message me if you can't find one, and I'll magically make one appear.
Yeah. Up here. Shameless plug out there for the one in Dallas. It is going to be at Spring Creek Barbecue, and the address is 270 North Central Expressway in Richardson, Texas. And if you need more information, you can find it on the Dallas area nannies group. If you're not a member of the group, send a friend request. Send a request to join the group, and I'm sure the administrators will allow you to come in because you're a nanny. We always are here to help our fellow nannies. Also, the registration I think starts in early February, and the conference, the training itself starts at 9:30 that day. Right. Mary was supposed to announce this, but she's not feeling well. So I am here filling in, and I hope I'm doing a good enough.
Great.
But that's locally here in Dallas, Texas. We are having an International Nanny Training Day. And if you can't get into the Dallas area nannies, you can email me at 3parents@gmail.com. Contact me on Facebook. I'll get you in contact with whomever you need to. If not just Dallas, any city, I'll get you to the right people. I will find out for you.
We'll get you there.
We'll get you there. And thank you.
No, thank you
for coming on and telling us about the International Nanny Training Day. We'll have you again back, closer to Nanny Palooza.
Yeah, 2 coasts this year.
And we got 2 this year.
Oh, yeah. And let me just put in one more plug. I have to plug one more thing, and let me just tell you right now that this company is the company that makes everything I do possible, and that is Homework Solutions. Homeworksolutions.com. If anybody wants information on taxes, getting those nanny taxes, please make sure that you recommend Homework Solutions. They not only generously support Nanny Palooza, they also generously support National Nanny Training Day. They care about nannies and nanny training. They have been with us for years, since the beginning. They say yes and write a check. And we need companies like that support us. So please, if somebody asks in a nanny group, what's the best tax company? Homework Solutions. And if you stop by their Facebook page and tell them thanks for sponsoring, I'm sure they would not be sad about that.
No, they would not. Because we had Kathy on a couple of weeks ago, and she told us all about nanny taxes and disappointed us about our deductions. But
Well,
also gave us valuable information about if we don't have a W-2, what to do if we have a dispute over our pay. And I mean, so many wonderful tips about taxes. Yes, plugging homework solutions. Uh, put it in your contracts.
right.
You know, I've talked to several nannies who have it in their contract. This is who you need to go through to put my payroll check. Yeah, go through them. They'll take care of everything for you. You just send me your check every month, and they will take care of it for you. Pay the taxes, everything. They'll just walk you through it step by step.
That's right.
They are wonderful.
Yes.
Oh, they
So
pay
thank
for the
you so
salary service too. Yay!
Yeah, that's right. They are the best. So I don't want to forget to
Yes,
say thanks to them. And thanks to all of you.
yes.
And thanks, Angela, for this opportunity. I can't wait to see
You're
you again.
welcome. Thank you.
All right.
Now, uh, by for our announcements for today, Ask the Nanny is getting a new home. So we have a Facebook page now. It's facebook.com/Ask the Nanny. It's still under construction. We're still doing what I like to call housekeeping. So starting in March, Ask the Nanny will be broadcasting from our home. Ask the Nanny. Yay! Also, we are revamping our website. It's under construction right now. So if you go there and everything looks crazy, yeah, it is crazy because we're redoing it. But we're getting a resource directory. So all of you nannypreneurs, if you have a business, the doulas, the midwives, postpartum doulas, NCSs, nannies that have businesses, nanny agencies, please, 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 please email me your information. If you would like your logo beside your information, please email that to me. The email address is fb.askthenanny@gmail.com. Again, that's fb.askthenanny@gmail.com. I'll leave the information in the comments at the end of the show. But please, 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 I'm trying to build a resource directory. So when people come to our webpage and they need information, you never know. It depends on what city you're in or what city they're in. Online directory can be amazing because people are always looking for something reputable. And I know that my nanny sisters, you all got it going on. So please, please, please email me all that information. Also, our YouTube channel is up and running. So if you want to visit our YouTube channel, subscribe. It's the Third Parent Academy. If you go to YouTube, just type in the Third Parent Academy and all the videos. We have a lot of books out there, some recipes. There are tips of the day. There's a lot of information on there. Some of the Ask the Nannies are on there too. So if you wanted to go visit, check it out, subscribe while you're there, and stop by Ask the Nanny and like our page. And we will see you all next week. Where we will have, let me not mess up her name, Tachi. I think I said that right. Tachi and Stephanie for our nannies and our nannypreneurs. Tachi has a power to the profession. She has a segment for the nannies. And Stephanie has a making money for the modern day nanny, for the nannypreneurs. So you don't want to miss that. It's a new year, jumping off the fence. Let's get started. All right, I will see you all next week. Thank you for joining us. Thanks again to Sue and to Laura for coming up with International Nanny Training Day. And check with your local areas to see if they have an International Nanny Training Day. If you can't find one, please email me or contact me or send me a private message on Messenger, and I will help you find one that's close to you or near you. And we will see you all next week. Thanks again.